can almost smell the Shannon. I'm that close to Portumna now, just a couple of kilometres outside of Lorrha, and then a short burst into Portumna and crossing the Shannon, which I'm super excited by. This took O'Sullivan Beare 2 days, because back then he didn't have the luxury of a bridge. They had to kill their animals and use their hides to make boats to ferry what was left of their 1,000 followers at this point across the Shannon. I thankfully can just hop over the bridge. It's not such a big deal for me. This morning was a bit of a disaster. Tried finding a lift from Beara to Ballingarry, and unfortunately no taxis available. Forgot that in rural Ireland. So I'm still in Tipperary. Getting a bit confused now. I'm still in Tipperary, but behind me you will see this stretch of water. I can never do this. This stretch of water here. I don't know how to do this. There, okay, there we go. This stretch of water here is the Shannon. So finally reaching, that's Connacht. That's the promised land over there. I do have some company today on the road. Say hello to Deirdre.
Hi, how you doing?
So Deirdre's been joining me today, and we also had other company in the shape of David and his son, who came out to join us for a little bit, and I'm staying with David again tonight in Portumna, or in Lorrha. So heading into Portumna now, but 4 kilometres left in the day, and it's been a nice day. Great to have some company on the road. Road's quite busy. We're on a main road. The route isn't quite finished here yet, but we're going to say later this year. Fingers crossed. Once later this year, it's all going to be rocked up around this part of the world. But yeah, so looking forward to hitting the Shannon in a couple of kilometres when I get to cross it. We're not quite sure in the history of it whether O'Sullivan Beare, that is, crossed a little that way or a little back this way towards Portumna. Depending on who you ask on here, you get different answers, because who owns the land and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, back on the road, and we'll catch up with you in Portumna. So on the river, literally on the river, that is the bridge, or on the bridge across the river. Much easier than O'Sullivan Beare and his men would have had to face 400 years ago, thankfully. And as you can see, if you keep going that way on the watery bits, you end up at Leitrim Castle. About 120, 140 kilometres, give or take a few. Not quite sure, haven't really worked it out yet. But yeah, about a week walking before I get home. But this is now Connacht as I cross into Portumna, County Galway for the first time. In my head, it's a bit of a milestone. So yeah, super happy. 16 days on the road, 7-ish more to go. Almost in Portumna now, just when we cross the second part of the bridge here.
This is the room Peter Somerville Large stayed in, I think around 1972. There would have been an old fireplace here, an old range, and he says in the book that he slept in front of the fire that night on a mattress. This is where it was. Next door was the parlour, and that's where he had his breakfast. He refers to the parlour then where he had his breakfast. He says he had bacon and eggs and stuff. So this would have been the parlour. He refers also to John F. Kennedy, to the bust of John F. Kennedy. That's still here. JFK. He also referred to my dad, who's no longer with us, who was a bit of a character, and it was quite comical. But my dad used to sleep in that room, and Somerville Large reckoned that he wouldn't get up in the morning, something that the neighbours used to slag my dad about over the years. To be put up in a farmhouse, another night of lying on a mattress beside a good turf fire. So that's basically the account of my grandaunt Delia and my dad Noel. So he gives a good account of the two of them. When I went through the book, he kind of touches on other places he's stayed, but he doesn't go into as much detail, so they made a lasting impression on him.
So that is how I got up there for the day. I actually just realised when I was watching the video back then, I never finished the story at the start of the day. So I'm here in the house that Somerville Large, who wrote that book, and the book that I've been using on this adventure, which came out in 1974, but he stayed here in 1972, 45 years ago, with the same family that I'm staying with today. So thank you, Dave, who you just met, who guided me through the history of the area. He's a local historian. I'm here in the house, and it's so fantastic to have the whole place to myself. David has come and dropped me in. He's gone back to his own home place. And I suppose really I want to fill you in on that story this morning, kind of how I lost myself an hour on the road this morning, because I left Beara, couldn't find a lift back, tried hitching for about an hour, no luck, and eventually got myself a taxi back to Ballingarry, where I started walking an hour later than I would have liked, but everything worked out all right. Fantastic response in Lorrha. I can't pronounce it, I'm really sorry, but it's a fabulous little town. Really good community spirit, just loads of history, 3 different abbeys and castles and everything. Would have been the biggest town in the area back 400 or 500 years ago, way before Deirdre and Portumna and Nina would have come to prominence. So yeah, a big historical site along the route, and one of the places where O'Sullivan Beare stopped on his route before he was crossing the Shannon, literally just 100 yards or so from where I am right now. Other than that, it's been a great day. Finally reached Connacht, into Portumna, into the last week, and super excited about what the next couple of days has in store as I move closer and closer to home. I kind of feel like I'm on home ground now. I'm in my own home province, and I'm going through towns that I've been in. I've going through towns that I've heard of, and yeah, super excited about what's in store. Thank you so much to the fantastic people in Lorrha who gave me an unbelievable welcome in Lorrha Beare. It's a bit weird, the 2 names together, but they've come together for tourism purposes. But yeah, fantastic welcome today. Roll out the red carpet, and cannot wait to see what comes ahead. Have some great people lined up over the next couple of days to come out with me for bits and pieces of the walk, but also to fill me in on some of the local history as we go along. Catch up with you tomorrow.